Keeping your eyes closed. Let's tune into this prayer demand from Whispers from Eternity of Yogananda ji. This is a bouquet of all loves of God. O God, my Father, teach me to make a bouquet of the variously hued flowers of conjugal, friendly, parental, and guru-disciple love, and to lay it reverently upon the altar of my heart, where thou reignest supreme. If I am unable to tie all those flowers into one bouquet, I will pluck the rarest rose of love growing in the garden of my devotion, and lay that one flower at thy feet. Oh, wilt thou receive it?
We'll start today's satsang by singing a couple of songs together. These are from Swamiji's oratorio Christ Lives. So we're going to share the words in the chat. The first one is called Mother of Wisdom. And many people are having the 8-hour meditation right now, or about to start the 8-hour meditation in different centers in India. We online, we will have it next Sunday. And but it's always good to use this time to tune into Christ a whole month, probably. But anyway, at least a couple of weeks before Christmas, or 1 week, we can do. So, Mother of Wisdom. Just 1 second. Mother of wisdom, mercy and grace, grant us thy vision, grant us thy peace. Our love receive, though blindly we pray. Silently guide our thoughts when we stray. How many years so proud of our wisdom, turning from God, we've wandered alone. So many years we've boasted but madness. Now our souls call thee, make us thy own. How many years so proud of our wisdom, turning from God, we've wandered alone. So many years we've boasted but madness. Now our souls call thee, make us thy own. And one more that is basically the Sermon on the Mount of Christ, the Beatitudes of Christ, which Swamiji put into music. So we'll also sing it together. And of course, this topic is from the Beatitudes, blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, shall be called the children of God. Blessed those reviled for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. All right. So I think those are very famous words, all the Beatitudes, but probably for us on the spiritual path, at least on this spiritual path, we have heard the most. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And that's a very lovely, very hopeful, perhaps, saying, blessed are the pure in heart, because they shall see God. Bless you, who doesn't, blessed are you, Shamini? Who doesn't really want to see God? No, it's one of those that is, yeah, the merciful shall obtain mercy, literally that's good. Obviously, in more deeper meanings, it has a super deep meaning, but the one that says they shall see God is one that, oh, I want to see God, let me be pure in heart. And when we talk about purity of heart, many people have different thoughts. I think one of the thoughts that comes the most to people is love, a heart that is able to love. But even then, we had to be careful when we talk about love, because most people understand love as being something, kind of the mushy feeling that you feel in the heart, or this outburst of energy going out to someone else. And I think we all have gone through that kind of love that tends to be more emotional love. I think we all have learned lessons from it. I know I have. You know, you are aware that things are emotional love when, of course, you're feeling for another person. And in some ways, although it can give great love, is supposed to give great strength. Oftentimes, emotional love can be debilitating for you. Is the kind of love that whenever that person, you do something for that person that they find pleasing, you will also feel pleasure in your heart. And oh, yes, oh, good, good, good. And then whenever, they are displeased, or whenever they're going through something hard, you feel a lot of sorrow, a lot of heaviness in the heart. Whenever perhaps that person is with someone else instead of being with you, or they're giving a lot of energy to someone else, perhaps some jealousy or some restless feeling comes in the heart. And I think, of course, we can always feel good when people like something we do, or we can feel for other people. But the main thing that comes is that restlessness of the heart. There comes a lot of restlessness when the emotion is involved. When you feel for other people, you feel their suffering because you are able to be empathetic or compassionate. There doesn't come restlessness in the heart. We were having fun one time with Shamini. We were in the train and we saw a young couple. I don't know how young they were, but the whole way that they were acting, I told Shamini, they are not married yet. They are a couple who are not married. And, we were debating if they were or not. Of course, we did not ask him, but it was fun because the moment I think the guy went off the train, the girl immediately called him on the phone. And there are those kind of things that you see people do when they are getting involved and they're in love and all these things. Whereas, when you have been married for some time, or when you feel a deeper aspect of love, you don't really need to do those things. For example, we have been married for some amount of time, almost 6 years. It's not a big time, but still is more than nothing. And I think I like to see the evolvement of our relationship. That, obviously, I want to do things that will, Shamini will like, or she will like to do things that I will like. But the whole feeling that comes with it is totally different. I don't feel like attached to her in the sense like, if she's, with her friends or with someone else, I'm not like, oh my God, what is she doing? Or things of that nature. I think in we can see certain hints of this purity, of more um, refined kind of love when you really feel a friendship to somebody else. And marriage should be also based on friendship. And that refined friendship gives us a little hint. Now, of course, talking about love is one thing, but everyone on this particular spiritual path, especially if you've been tuning into some of the classes that have been going on recently, you will think, love of the heart, Sri Yukteswar. He is the one who said no one can advance on the spiritual path without awakening the heart's natural love. That is the prime requisite for uh, any sort of advancement on the spiritual path to even get one step on the spiritual path. And then, of course, we talk about the meannesses of the heart, that it is not so much that we need to develop love, because our heart is meant to love, but that we need to remove the impurities of our heart. Now, um, when we talk about impurities, what are impurities of the heart? Now, Sri Yukteswar gave a list that I'm not going to go through, but a good example is, if you go and you grab a handful of soil, of earth, you grab it, you squeeze it, and then you drop it, and you see your heart, I mean, your your hand is dirty, isn't it so? It's all full of dirt, obviously. And what is our impulse? Is to wash it off, to remove that dirt. Now, dirt in itself is a very good thing, because we grow vegetables, we grow trees. It's what is sustaining all of us, really. But when it is in our bodies like that, we call it impure. So a lot of the things that we had to do is to find out what are those things that are dirtying our heart. And the main one, really, or I should say that everything comes from this, is the likes and the dislikes of the heart. That is the thing that keeps our heart impure. Um, we had to be careful with both of them, because the likes um, are, you can compare them with the emotional love that we feel. The likes is really a lot of energy going out of our heart in restlessness and binding us to something, trying to find happiness through something else. And the likes of the heart are what usually create desires. Because usually, how Master said that there is these two things that we all want: to avoid pain and to find happiness. Well, with the likes and dislikes, that's how it works. Uh, find happiness, something that we like, will create desires. Energy is going towards a desire. Avoid suffering is something that we dislike, so therefore we try to withdraw from it to avoid suffering of some kind, not necessarily physical suffering, but sometimes mental suffering, boredom, or whatever it may be. That the whole key of purifying the heart is this working of the likes and dislikes of the heart. What Patanjali told us in the Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha is the same thing. Now, when we were listening to Jaya talk about this subject, when he was talking about the holy science, he says something very, very interesting. Uh, he said, and something that I'm trying to take to heart as well, that obviously we had to rein our desires. Desire, my great enemy. We all know that um, if we have too many desires, especially some of the big ones, we are going to deplete our energy. When we talk about, for example, the meditation, the 8-hour meditation that we are going to have now, or any meditation, you will see that your mind tends to go, when it starts going restless, tends to go more towards your desires. What things you want to do, what things you hope to do, what you like, and your mind starts going more in that. It's going outward, energy is going out of yourself. That is one thing. But yeah, and we had to, certainly there are impediments even for our meditation. But Jayaji said also to pay more attention to the dislikes or the aversions of the heart. Because when we talk about meanness of the heart, we tend to think of, somebody being mean, somebody being cruel, or somebody in that sense, mean as being bad, cruel, or, those kind of synonyms. But meanness also means smallness, those things that keep our heart small. And if we know one thing about the spiritual path, is that we have to expand. And the dislikes that we have usually means that we are contracting our heart. Oh, I don't like that thing. Oh, I don't like. Oh, I hate that person. Hate is a very strong word. Even if you don't hate literally, we may say like, oh, I really don't like that person. I don't like the situation. I don't like this, and so on and so forth. Those tend to kind of close our heart. At least the desires are somewhat opening our hearts, albeit usually to the wrong things. But the things that are closing our hearts, locking our hearts, they make us really self-involved. They make us be thinking too much of ourselves. So he said that it's a very good idea to work more on the dislikes of the heart. That because usually um, the solution to the dislikes of our heart, or those things that keep our heart small, are expansive qualities. Of course, if you don't like someone or if you hate someone or whatever it may be, a good way to stop that may be like to listen a little bit more or try to see behind the personality of the person into who they truly are. Another solution may be being kind towards that person, even though we don't want to do it, we know it's a good thing. That kindness will help us expand our heart. It will help us, um, remove some of that smallness, some of that meannesses of the heart. I guess, sorrow is another one that can be, again, we are too consuming ourselves. Well, I don't know what's the antidote of sorrow, but usually sharing or, doing things for other people can help you with your sorrow. And I thought that was a very good point that he brought. Obviously, being Jaya, it has to be a good point, but I never had thought of it that way. That if we really work on those things that we tend to avoid, tend to close our hearts to, we will automatically start developing a more expansive, our hearts will start expanding more. And he made the point that we, of course, the waves of up and down that we go through, if we neutralize the waves going down, the waves that are going up also automatically will start coming more to the center. Of course, this there's no question that this has to be paired with meditation, that meditation will help us more than anything to purify the heart, to neutralize the likes and dislikes. But if we always pair right living with meditation, is the greatest, the strongest antidote to everything. Now, when we finally, start purifying our hearts, that we don't let our energy go here and there and there and there, we become much more contented, and we start to perceive God. He says, they shall see God. When we are able to bring in that energy that our heart is constantly throwing out, we are able to uplift it in devotion and offer it to the divine. And that's when we can really see God. Now, seeing God uh, probably is literally, but also not literally. It is not literally in the sense that you will not see God as a person or God as, even one of the gurus. They are not God per se. Yes, they're expressions of God, but they're not God. Um, you could say that you will see God in the form of light, that principle of the spiritual eye, of seeing everything as light. Like Master said, that when he went into samadhi, he writes in the autobiography of a yogi that he saw everything, the cow, this, that, as images of light in like in a movie screen, he will say. And that's what he used to tell his disciples. You don't know how beautiful you are. I see you all as images of light. So, in that way, literally, we can see the divine expression of everything in this world as light. We can see that inner light in meditation when our hearts are pure. And I think even more, of course, we will feel the presence of God within ourselves, a form of bliss, a form of, actual pure love, that love that is with no condition, expansive, that what Swamiji called bliss in motion, um, and any of the other aspects of God. And I think also, and this is another key to help us see God or purify the heart, is that to try to see unity in everything, because God is unity. And whenever you see the divine, it means you see the divine in others, you see the divine in every situation, you see the divine unifying everything. It's funny because yesterday I had put, as many of you know, I have a YouTube channel where I put harmonium tutorials, and sometimes I put some chants. And recently we put an old chant that we had recorded of Thou Art My Life. And because I don't get many comments on YouTube or views or anything, when somebody comments, I see what the comment is, and the comment that somebody had was something on the lines that I feel so sad when I see people putting Jesus Christ with other Hindu gurus or something like that. He said, because they were so different and blah 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 blah. That is not unity. You know, that is smallness. That is really seeing the small picture of things. When our hearts are pure, when we are able to see the divine, yes, in meditation it can come, but more than anything, we see the divine in one another. That we don't mind if people are being mean, if people are, persecuting us, if they are doing whatever they are doing. We are able to see it really as one unifying ray of light coming from the divine for our entertainment and education, and our hearts will not allow us to see otherwise. A pure heart, like Swami Kriyananda, he said his mind was not able to go into certain things that people, they will ask him certain questions or whatever. He say, sorry, but my mind is not able to go there anymore, because his heart was so pure, probably, that he could not. And and I think that's another of the keys of this purity of heart. That we can think of, okay, I'll see this situation as coming from the divine, and that person and this, and that will not get us very far. It is better to do than not doing it. But one of the main things is to living in high upper energy, to always throughout the day try to be as energetic as we can in everything that we do, but still kind of try to uplift that energy. Because when your energy is uplifted, usually it's because this is the center of feeling, and this is what Master called the pivotal chakra. From here can go down to the lower center, from here can go up to the upper centers. That is very, very important chakra. And as much as we can, when we are feeling especially energetic throughout the day in our activities and all, to take a little time and uplift those feelings and bring them to the point between the eyebrows. Because you will see, again, when you are in high energy and when you allow that energy to go up instead of down, again, desires will just not be there. Your mind will not allow you to go to any of those directions of aversion or attraction, because that energy is flowing up from the heart up. That is devotion. That flow of energy in the end is what is going to help us purify more than anything. And when we purify the heart, the mind becomes pure as well.
Thank you. I will just add very briefly to what Bharat was sharing. Those are very, very practical points. Thank you very much for that. And just one aspect of this, maybe related to the whispers that we read and we tune into from Master, of a bouquet of all loves of God, and offering a bouquet to God. I really enjoyed yesterday. We had a kriya, and one of the kriya acharyas basically shared, every kriya, as we do it, we should be offering it at the feet of the guru when you raise the energy up. And in meditation as well, that's a practice we try to do, and we think of this topic, blessed are the pure in heart. And it's basically a self-offering, from the heart upwards. And it's just a beautiful image to just tune into that, especially now as we go into this time of Christmas, a little more inward. It's just like, usually we say the spiritual path is about 3.5 feet, the length of the spine. You can kind of make it now till here, and just this much is my path for now at the time of Christ, let's say. And if I want to tune into this love, the time of devotion, the time Christ brought this spirit of really unconditional love, as we know, no? On the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He still demonstrated compassion and a kind of love that is very, very beautiful to meditate on. Is very deep to see. Just again, the love that he demonstrated for all mankind, even though that was a very difficult time, that of deep Kali Yuga. But just for us to see in that moment, what does it mean to offer? What does self-offering mean? You know? And I want to know. You tell me. You help me. And I was just tuning into this recently, like sometimes it happens to Guru Bhais, and I've been tuning in here and there. A few friends will often share something this last 6 months, let's say. So it's pretty recent. And even myself, where the situation that's happening is so bizarre that there's no part of you that can do anything almost. And I think there's a big grace going on for all of us who are getting to experience this right now. And pay attention to those, where it becomes so out of control. And you just have to sit down at the altar and say, what do I do? Or you do it. You take charge of my life. I'm not going to do anything anymore. I want you to be completely in charge. And then the moment we do that, that's self offering, right? Because we have to sit down at the altar, we have to rein it in and say, I give it to you. I lay it at your feet. There's no part of me that's going to participate in this because I don't know how to. And in those moments, miracles are happening. I see people getting answers. I see situations fixing, and so fast too, which it makes like, wow, what was all that drama about in a way? All I had to do was just take it within and lay the bouquet of flowers at your feet. Lay this problem, and that bouquet of flowers may not always be pretty. Remember that as well. It may be, oh my goodness, all these things. I lay it at your feet. I offer it as flowers. But in that moment, that was the whole point of that whole story anyway. It was to teach us to offer. It was to teach us to purify the heart. It was to teach us who is really in charge of our lives. No? And it's a really amazing thing to tune in at this moment of, as we purify the heart, we have that image of water gushing and flowing and flowing and flowing over and over and over and over and over. And in that process, the heart purifies. So the devotion, as it flows upwards through the heart, it purifies the heart. And hopefully, sooner or later, the only thing will be left would be that bouquet of flowers that we're always offering, that we're always living only for that. And we learn in every situation that hopefully the guru and doesn't have to give us such dramatic moments, that every moment of our life is really just a self-offering. The good, the bad, as he was saying, the waves get neutralized because we've learned finally that was the whole point of all of this anyway.
All right. So we are going to conclude now with closing our eyes and a healing prayer.
Okay. So let's just close our eyes for a moment once again as we go into this blessed time together. Just feeling that devotion in our heart rising, feeling the presence of Christ. He is in our line of gurus. Let's tune in more to him this week as we lead up to the Christmas meditation next week. And just feel the birth of Christ inside each one of us, within us. And with that comes the deep aspect of love that he demonstrated, the compassion, the mercy, forgiveness, whatever aspect that you need to practice in your life toward any situation. Visualize that situation right now, maybe something challenging, a person, a place, any kind of situation that's happening. And just send his light, radiate that light, radiate these blessings towards that very specific situation. And let's expand this light. May the light of Christ This vibration of Christ consciousness surround the entire planet. May all those receptive who are seeking be able to receive His touch of light. And let's send out the blessings, rubbing our palms together, sharing this vibration, this light out into the world.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Many blessings.